Hello, hello. How is everybody? I am Joshua Porter. I'm your teacher for today, and this is English for academic purposes. So I've been chatting with you guys in the chat. There's lots to talk about this week. There's a whole bunch of new things going on. As I'm watching the chat, everybody's saying hi and welcome, and everybody's saying hello if they haven't talked to each other in a while. Glad to have you all here. I would go through everybody's names, but there are so many names in the chat right now, which is great. I don't want to use our valuable class time to go over everybody that's here, but I have said hello to the people that I think showed up and said hello. Luciana just showed up. That was the first time I saw your post, so hi, and welcome. So what this class is a course to prepare you for academics, or better phrased, academic English. And what I mean by academic English is English that you're going to use for some sort of academic purpose. And academic purpose may be school, like college or university, but it may also be a higher level of English for business, for professional travel, for publishing papers and documents. Maybe you're finished with school, you already have multiple PhD degrees, and you want to publish in the international community. Well, most of the publications internationally are published in English within the scientific communities. Now, this isn't true 100% of the time, of course, but more and more English is becoming the lingua franca, the common language for all of us to sort of share and connect, and it's great. There are many different reasons you might be here right now, but we're all sort of sharing this time to improve our English, whatever the reason might be. So if this is your first class, welcome. We're happy to have you here. JB says it's the world language. Yeah, in a lot of ways it is the world language. So a few things to go over. You may have noticed, if you watch our YouTube channel and you're subscribed, that we have a new streamer. Karim we have as our streamer for intermediate English. And he's a great guy. He works with Sean in Vancouver, Canada at their wonderful location there on Alberni Street, I think. It's a beautiful city, great place to go. So Karim is a very, very talented teacher, and he is teaching, as I said, intermediate English, so it's something you'll want to check out. His class, I'm actually not sure the time. I think it happened yesterday. Yesterday was his first class. So you'll have to check it out. You'll have to see what his class is like. Every teacher is different. We all have different personalities and mannerisms and different ways of looking at the language. And all the smart teachers are brilliant. They're amazing teachers. Sean is one of the smartest guys I know with the English language, as is Neil. Neil's incredible. He knows so much about the English language. His brain is just packed full. I'm surprised it doesn't burst open with all the knowledge he has in there. So these guys are really great educators, great teachers, and Neil and I could teach the same lesson with the same curricula, the same material, and it would come out very different. Teachers teach differently, so you might connect better understanding it one way as opposed to another. So I'm saying that to encourage you to check out all the classes. They're free. If you want to sign up to be a premium subscriber, you can. You just check out this link right here. I'm posting it in the chat. I'll post it in a Google document here as well, so we can see it in the recorded video. This is, of course, the 27th of July, 2017 class. So I'll put our notes here, zoom in a little bit, make our font nice and big. My email, if you need to talk to me for any reason, is joshua.live@smartenglish.com. And you can reach me there anytime you want. We could be Facebook friends. You could reach out to me on Facebook too. I don't really chat on Facebook generally, but you know, if it's something important, you might be able to find me on there. So that is my link there as well. And then we have our wonderful YouTube channel, which you guys are watching this on right now. So be sure to subscribe there. So here are the classes. Let me change the background so you can see some of the notes I made. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so here are those links. Here's my email. As I said, I'm putting this in the chat, but the chat disappears after, in my Facebook page, after the video is recorded. But if you're watching this later, there you go. You can email me if you need to. Also check out this link. This is how to sign up to become a premium subscriber. Smart English, SMRT, english.com/live/live. That'll bring you right here where it has the wonderful Sean. He is the teacher for intermediate English, as is Kareem. Neil, the amazing Neil, who has so much knowledge that his brain will burst. And then, of course, this joker right here. Who knows who that is? Some dork. So, hi from Spain. Hi from Brazil. How are you? Nice, warm, beautiful countries. And David from Mexico. How are you? Good to have you here. We have so many beautiful, warm countries represented in our chat. That's awesome. Weberton, yeah, it's your first class. Where are you from? Where's your home? We'll give a shout out to your country as well. Okay. JB, try to keep it in English. So you probably attend the gym regularly, don't you? Vinci, gym is spelled G-Y-M. G-Y-M, not J-I-M. J-I-M is the man's name. G-Y-M is the place where people exercise. And in the winter, but not really. I mean, I don't. In the summertime, I like to swim outside. I like to rock climb. Rock climbing is one of my favorite sports and hobbies to do. I think it's amazing. A lot of people are like, why do you do that? It's just you climb up a rock and go back down. It's an incredible experience. It's hard to describe, so check it out if you haven't. Be safe about it, though. Armenia, hello. Susanna, good to have you here. And Amal, Orchid, hello, hi. Are you Orchid Flower on the chat? I don't know. Someone messaged me as Orchid Flower, but I don't know which student that is. They wanted to sign up for live classes. Here's how you do it. You just go to this website or email Zach. Zach can sign you up. Zach at smartenglish.com. Check out his, or send him an email. Say hi. Say what's up, Zach. He'll set you up. Okay. From Brazil. Weberton's from Brazil. Awesome. Very cool. And Adnan knows this is a vocabulary class and typed the longest word in the English language there. I'll let you guys read it and pronounce it. I'm not going to embarrass myself. But it is a series of prefixes, suffixes, and maybe an infix in there that combines, they combine to create a word. What's fun about that word is you can dissect it and sort of derive the meanings of each of the suffix and prefix and roots, different roots, I guess I should say. And if you understand the roots, you can kind of discover the meaning of the word. You don't really have to know the definition from the start. You can discover the definition by knowing the definitions of the different roots and parts of the word. So it's pretty cool. Hi from India. I'm so glad everybody is here. Weberton did an intensive English course in Vancouver in 2015, so he hung out where Sean and Kareem are. I hope he'll stay longer too. Great guy, good teacher. It's awesome. Okay, we need to get started. We have a lot of stuff to cover. So I'm going to take attendance for the premium subscribers really quickly. This is, of course, English for academic purposes And we're working with the new version of Smrt, which is awesome. Looks like everybody is here and signed in, so good job, 100% attendance today. Thank you. Thank you all premium subscribers for being here and signed in. That's awesome. All right, so we're going to go to our course, and we are going to go over vocabulary. I'm going to jump around a little bit. There's going to be one exercise at the end, but I may jump into a couple different lessons. We're going to start with the environment lesson. This is Unit 8, Deforestation, and we're going to go with reading. I think reading is one of the best ways to build your vocabulary if you are an active reader. They used to throw this term around a lot when I was in school, active reading, be an active reader. And I always had a hard time grasping it as a student. I was like, what does that mean? Reading is an action. How can I not be an active reader? I'm always being an active reader. But what my teachers were really talking about, they were talking about actively reading in that I am conscious of the fact that I am reading and I'm utilizing every skill I can to become a better active reader. For example, many of you guys know, and I'm gonna, Bharat, no problem. I'm glad you're here. It's okay if you're late. And Amanda, good to have you. Amanda bicycles. That's awesome. That's a great activity. Very good. Okay, I'm gonna preview with you a little bit the exercise here, and go in and show you the chart that I'm gonna have some of you fill out. So remember this chart. If you've been in the class before, if you've been a premium subscriber, you have access to this curricula and homework. You've done this, probably. So this is the homework, the vocabulary chart. And I just want you to organize these words into 4 sections, 4 parts. And those 4 parts are just general ideas of how familiar you are with the words. The first section is, so we're looking at a new vocabulary word. Let's take one from the reading, for example. This word is erosion. Erosion. Okay? So if we're looking at that word, erosion, I'll make it bigger for you. All right, there's the word right there. Erosion. Hello, erosion is the word of the day. If we look at this word and we think, what? It looks like euro, kind of. Is it money? I don't know what it means. I have no idea what this word means. Then we would paste it into this column. We're making ourselves a chart, right? We're going to paste it into this column. I don't know what the word means. I cannot use it in a sentence. No idea. Some of you know what erosion is. Yes, soil erosion, soil problem. Yes. But if you don't, it's okay. We'll explore together. When I see the word, I have a basic idea. So some of you know it has to do with soil. So if you're like, erosion, isn't that something to do with soil? Maybe dirt. I don't know. It means dirt. If that's kind of the way you feel about it, if you're like, it's familiar, I think I've read that word, maybe it was in a geology class, but I don't really know how to use it, we want to put it in this column. And so we're thinking about our own ability here, right? Which is hard. It's hard to give criticism to yourself. It's hard to get criticism, to take criticism, but it's important. And it's hard to give it to yourself fairly. To simply admit and say, I kind of know what this word means, but I don't think I could use it in a sentence. It's important to be honest with ourselves about that. There are plenty of words I don't know. I'll talk more about that in a minute. If I look at the word and I say, yes, I can use the word, but I think I'm using it incorrectly sometimes. Like, I erosioned my shoes the other day. Well, that's completely wrong, but the dirt erosioned from the mountain. The dirt erosion from the mountain. I'm using the word, and it's in the right context. The context is correct, but I'm using the word a little bit incorrectly. So, hi Nora, how are you? And Ilyas, good to have you. So I'm using the word a little bit incorrectly. So I would put it here. I sometimes use the word, but I don't know if I'm using it correctly. I think maybe I'm using it wrong. Even if you feel like you know it pretty well, but you don't feel confident with it, you can't say it and use it every time and know that you are using it correctly, put it in this column. This column is one that is very heavy for a lot of students. You kind of know the word, but not fully. And this is true of teachers too. Any teacher that tells you they know every word in the English language is lying to you. No teacher. I've worked with and met some amazing educators that are so brilliant and smart and have been teaching for, sometimes 20, 30, 40 years or more. And they don't know every word. We're always learning. Teachers are always learning. That's just a fact. A teacher that stops learning should not be a teacher, is not a teacher. So this column should be very heavy in all of our vocabulary building, right? I'm with you. I'm a student too. And then this column here, I can use the word fairly confidently. I'm pretty confident about it. And I can give a definition. I can tell you what the word means. Khalil, it's your first live class. Everybody, welcome Khalil. Welcome. Happy to have you here. All right. People meowing at each other. All right, JB, Nora, that's your guys' own thing. You guys do you. Okay, so, if you know the word and you feel confident and you can define it for a friend, put it in this column. So I want you guys to do that with this, with our academic word list. We're going to talk about the meanings, we're going to talk about synonyms, and we're going to talk about strategies of how to build your vocabulary. I'll use this as an opportunity to bring up, this is my Facebook page, and I put this up there. Yesterday I went golfing with one of my best friends and my brother. That was fun. But I put this up yesterday, the word of the day quiz. I took this. I do this in my free time. I read. I like dictionary.com. I think it's a good app and a good resource. Their definitions are pretty simple, and I've liked using it with English language learners. So I took the word of the day quiz. I did pretty good, but I did this to show a lot of my students that that we never stop learning. Teachers never stop learning. We keep going. So you could take this if you want to, but I just put it up there to remind everybody that that you never stop. You always continue to learn. So let's look at our vocab for today and see what we can learn. JB likes Merriam-Webster. I like Merriam-Webster too. m-w.com. I love how easy it is to type in the Omnibar and get to. Also, these have very good definitions as well. Fester, to become worse as time passes. So that's the word of the day for today. Nice, simple definition. I also like when you go into the words, it offers other definitions, examples, and then it gives you a little bit of the etymology. The etymology is the history of the word formation. So I think that's nice as well. They also have good, I don't know what that is.
Fester.
Good pronunciations of it. And you can also use Translate, Google Translate, to pronounce words. I only use it for single words. Do not use phrases, is my advice. The speech technology is not quite there yet. Longman Dictionary is pretty good. Luciana uses. Thank you, Radia. Radia, am I pronouncing your name correctly? I appreciate your compliment. Radia says I'm speaking very clearly. I try to do that for students to make sure you can hear me clearly, to enunciate and pronounce words carefully. But I do want you to know I am speaking at a natural pace. This is how quickly I speak with my friends, my family. If you do need me to slow down ever or repeat something, please ask. I'm happy to. But I do this with intent. I intentionally speak this quickly, which is a normal rate of speech for an American. because I want you to become familiar speaking normally with Americans or North Americans, people that are native English speakers. Okay, so if we wanted to hear erosion.
Erosion.
It's just a erosion. So the ER is a very quick, sharp pronunciation. Erosion. When people say it in a sentence, sometimes you lose the E, and you can only hear the R in their pronunciation. The erosion happened quickly, something like that. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, a little echo. Yeah, sorry. So when I play something through my speakers, unless I mute the microphone, there's an echo. I'll try to be careful of that. Cambridge, Oxford, all good dictionaries. Let's go into our other word list. So here's another word. Unsustainable. So hopefully you notice the prefix here, un. To do something, to undo something, to sort of rewind, to take it back. Unsustainable. So if something is sustainable, what does that mean? What does it mean to have something that is sustainable? Unsustainable. Go ahead and in the chat give me your definition of either sustainable or unsustainable. No longer, Vinci says. That's kind of on the right track. I need a clearer definition. Define for me. Don't use a dictionary. Use your mind and words that come from your mind. And give me what you think the definition is. Furkat says reliable. Sustainable and reliable, similar, sure. Juven says no idea. Awesome. I love that. So you would put this word in this column here. All right? So that's great. Excellent. I'm glad, I don't know. Let's find out. We'll teach you what that means, and we'll learn it together. Unbearable, not quite. Not quite Hacker's Pride. We're going to do well, give me a different definition. Try a sentence. Din, yeah, today we're learning pronunciation a little bit. With vocabulary learning, we can practice our pronunciation. Yeah, those two things go together. Continuous, Alician says. Continuous would be sustainable, to continue, able to continue. The pronunciation of the word, Vu, is unsustainable. Unsustainable. Vinci says, not serious enough. Not quite. Can't live. Ethan, that's pretty good. Sustain is to continue, to go on, to be continuous. Unsustainable is not able to do that. Something that cannot continue, cannot go on, cannot be continuous. So an example would be a sustainable energy is a combination of renewable energies like solar energy. The sun is a constant source of energy. The sun is going to be around for a long time. It's not going to go away for many, many millions of years. And yes, we have cloudy days and we have the winter time where the sun may not be as easily accessible as an energy source, but it is sustainable energy. It's going to continue on and on and on. Yes, Vinci, that's good. Not tend to go on would be unsustainable. Not tend to go on. Sustainable development. This is producing developments, buildings and structures and infrastructure that can allow for populations and ecosystems to continue. Yeah. Hi from Thailand. Hi, Thailand. How are you? Wind power may be unsustainable. Yes and no, Steve. So wind power is sustainable energy in that there will always be wind. Wind is part of our ecosystem, our nature. Now, to have constant wind, that doesn't happen, right? Wind comes and goes. So wind is unsustainable as one action, but as a holistic action, as wind continuing, stops, continues, stops, continues, that process is sustainable. Let's think about it this way. Could you sustain, could you sing one note like, oh, could you continue that forever? No, you'd have to stop and take a breath, right? So it's unsustainable to continue one sound forever as a human being. But could a machine that is plugged into a constant energy source, could that sustain a note? If I were to play it and loop it, could it keep going forever and ever? Yeah, sure, that would be sustainable. Okay, so I think you guys have a handle on it. Let's look at some other vocabulary. Agriculture. The pronunciation of this word is agriculture. What is agriculture? I'd like you guys to type in the chat, what do you think agriculture is? What is agriculture? I will give you that this has to do with plants and animals. Plants and animals. What is agriculture? Crop. Somebody uses the word crop. That's a related word. Absolutely. Crops. The growing of crops for human consumption. Yeah. And the raising of animals. So agriculture is the idea of growing plants and raising animals to sustain human life as food sources. So making food, farming, good. That's a good synonym. Okay. How about anchor? Anchor as a verb. As a verb. So what would that look like in a sentence? Anchor as a verb. So let's go vocabulary notes. Anchor as a verb. I need to, let's see. Let me think of a good sentence. Anchor as a verb. Vocabulary building is anchored to reading. What do I mean in that sentence? To staple something. That's okay, yeah. Do sheeps have an anchor? Sheep is the plural of sheep. A sheep, many sheep. No, they don't have an anchor. Ships anchored on the port. Yeah, there you go. The ship is anchored. Well, I'm using that. The ship anchored near port. Okay, these are example sentences. The ship anchored near the port. Near the dock. Sure, a boat has an anchor. Yep. So sometimes Google Image is also helpful for learning. This is an anchor, popular pirate and sailor tattoo. So an anchor is what holds a ship in one place or space. You lower the anchor digs in the ground. That way the ship can kind of stay where it is. So an anchor, we can hear, I'll mute me this time so you can hear the pronunciation.
Anchor.
There you go. Anchor we can use as a noun or a verb. The ship anchored near the port, or I'm using it a little creatively here. Vocabulary building is anchored to reading. Or Josh says that vocabulary building, or students must anchor vocabulary building to reading. I just want to make sure I'm using it as a verb. That's why I'm reworking the sentence there. So I'm using this kind of creatively. This is a better sentence here just because it's the regular definition. And we'll see what it looks like in the reading too. We can see there. Tree roots anchor the soil and hold it together. Okay, so that's talking about tree roots fixing it, holding it together, putting it in one place and not letting it move. So that is how it's used in our reading a little bit later. Okay, so anchor was that vocabulary. Aquatic. So what part of speech is aquatic? I typed too fast. Oh, I'm sorry. I can try to slow down. What part of speech is aquatic? What part of speech is that? Good. Ethan says water related. Yes. Here's the question again. What part of speech is aquatic? What part of speech is that? Adjective. Good. Yes, aquatic. And the definition is related to water. Okay. We have Aquaman, aquatic. You see the same prefix there. Aquatic. Water. Bam. So you can type some of these words and get a general idea of what is related to the meaning. You see this Aquaman, superhero related to water. So you can use Google Image to sort of get a general idea. It doesn't always work. It's not always the best, but swimming is an aquatic sport. Weberton, awesome, first class, and you are giving us great example sentences. I'm going to use that. Swimming is an aquatic sport. And I'm going to give credit here. Weberton. Weberton's awesome example. There we go. Swimming is an aquatic sport. Okay. So, aqua park. We don't really say aqua park. We say water park. And a water park is somewhere you go to play in the water. Aquarium. I was in an aquarium in Baltimore last Saturday. That's another good example. I was in an aquarium in Baltimore last Saturday. So we're just looking at this prefix here, aqua, for aquatic. Okay, that's our word. Biodiversity. So there are two parts to this word that we want to look at. One is bio, the prefix to biology, and then diversity. Hopefully you know what diversity means. So try to define this word without using a dictionary. And if you don't know what biodiversity is, just look at the prefix bio and think about what that means in biology. And then diversity. What does biodiversity mean? I'm going to give you guys just a minute. How about the definitions for all four of these? I'd like to see them in the chat. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to put them here. What are the definitions for, or what are definitions for the following? So biodiversity, cataloged. I don't know why that is coming up. Cattle and colonization. Biodiversity, cataloged, cattle, and colonization. So, what are definitions for the following? Give me definitions for these. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So just go ahead and put those in the chat numerically, whichever one you want to define, or all of them. And let's see what you guys can come up with. I'll be back in just a minute. Make sure that you label those definitions, and then let me know if you have any questions about those. So yeah, let's I'm gonna go to our activity music here. But let's define these, and then I'll be right back. All right, so good work, everybody. You submitted excellent definitions and attempts at definitions here. Good job. I see some of your definitions, JB. Maybe you did just type these from memory, but you do a good job of sounding like a dictionary. So, and it's okay if you were using one, but let's try to come up with definitions in our words, our own words in our own mind. So if you were doing your own definitions, awesome, good work. You sound like a dictionary. Biodiversity. So what does this mean? Bio is the prefix that means life. Life. Bio is slang for the type of class that you take in high school or college. I'm taking Bio 442 or whatever. Bio is the first part of the word biology. Biology is the study of life. So bio means life. Diversity is different kinds. So diversity is to have different kinds of anything. Diversity of food, diversity of culture, diversity of people, diversity of languages. We have a diversity of languages in this class. Biodiversity in this class we do not have. We are all of the same life form, right? We are all human beings. So there is zero biodiversity in this chat, unless you have your cat or dog typing for you. Maybe you do, I don't know. But as far as I know, we have zero biodiversity in class, but we have a lot of language diversity. So biodiversity is different kinds of life. And some of you said different kinds of life in an ecosystem. You are correct, that's right. Cataloged. So cataloged, the ed here is the past participle suffix. Cataloged Cataloged. It's fun to say. Cataloged. Don't repeat it like I did just now. I'm being a dork. I'm goofing around. Here's how you say the word. Cataloged. So, to catalog something is to organize it into categories, to categorize. So to catalog something is to arrange it in a logical order or fashion. A catalog is a book where you can see different goods to buy. Yes, that's true. But we have the card catalog at our local libraries. We have books that are cataloged into different sections within the library. So we have fiction, nonfiction. There's millions of sections in the library now because there's so many different types of books. There's travel books, there's language books, there are books about history or science or mathematics. These are cataloged into their categories. So cataloged as a past participle can be used as an adjective. If you're working a job, your employer may say, I need you to catalog these files by whatever date, or chronologically or alphabetically. So catalog is to organize into a column. To organize information is the easiest way to define that word. Cattle is a specific type of livestock. I should be writing these down. Biodiversity. Let's write the simplest definition. Different kinds of life. Cataloged. Organized. Let's just put a synonym. To organize information into categories. Cattle. Specific livestock that gives us beef or milk, dairy. Okay. And cattle is something that is specific to a lot of North American culture, some Asian cultures. In cows is the animal, cow. It's cattle when we are using the animal for leather or food. It's cow when it's just talking about the animal, the life form itself. In some parts of the world, cows are sacred, so they would not be cattle, but we would say cow. So there's a difference there. Colonization. Let me catch up on the chat here. You guys are really rocking and rolling. Colonization. Colonization is a country stealing another country's resources. Kind of. Sometimes. Yeah. Historically, that has been the case a lot of times, unfortunately. So colonize. But it doesn't always mean someone stealing resources. I want to be clear about that. Unfortunately, colonization has come with a lot of negativity in humans' history, right? Humanity's history. I think it's important to remember that our history doesn't define us presently all the time, right? America's done some, and I say America, I mean colonization of America. There were Native American populations, indigenous populations here that people came and colonized and killed a bunch of people and wiped it out. Very sad, very terrible situation. But if people alive today weren't the people that did that, it's important to not necessarily think that everybody thinks that way or anything. But yeah, terrible, terrible situation, right? Here's a more modern situation of colonization. If humans travel to and go and live on Mars, that would be colonization. Nobody lives on Mars. Mars has space. It has room. It's kind of a funny joke there. Mars has space. Mars is another planet that is possible. The potential is there for humans to colonize Mars. So colonization is to begin living somewhere new. to begin living somewhere new, to colonize, to start a colony. Now, as the world becomes more and more populated, it is harder to colonize anywhere. There are spaces in the world that are uninhabited. So I'll say new/uninhabited. Okay, uninhabited means nobody lives there. Now, what Tile was saying is when people steal other people's resources, that's when you try to colonize somewhere that is inhabited. So you're starting a new group of people somewhere where people already live and exist. Uninhabited would be somewhere where nobody exists. For example, colonizing Mars. There's a lot of information about this, and this is kind of what I think a lot of people envision, either living underground or in some sort of biohabitats. But people want to colonize Mars, to cultivate it, and I think this is possible. We have the technology to begin doing something similar to this. It'll probably take a lot longer than most people say, but step in the right direction. I think we do need to become a multi-planetary species. We're kind of running out of room, right? So colonization. We'll go over a couple more words, and then I want to look at the reading because I want to teach vocabulary building strategy as you're reading as well. Okay. Let's see. I'm catching up on the chat. Habitation. Yeah, cohabitation, habitation. Uninhabited. You like the word uninhabited. Okay. So hiding love, that is a word that means nobody lives there. That's true. Lots of good thoughts going on in the chat. Deforestation, it's when we eliminate a forest. Disrupted, this is when a system is interrupted or altered in some way. So disruption is when there's order and someone causes disorder. Disrupt. Ecosystem. Ecosystem is the system in which life exists. So rainforest is a very robust ecosystem. We also have ecosystems within our different life cultures. So we have our work ecosystem and sort of how people operate and work together. We have our truest ecosystem is humans living in nature and how we interact with our nature. Extinct is to end a life form, to end that life form permanently. Like the dinosaurs have gone extinct. They're done, gone, bye. Livestock, a more general term than cattle. Cattle is, of course, this kind of livestock. A livestock is a bigger term. So you notice I type in cattle and cows come up. Livestock and many kinds of animals would come up. Pigs and cows and sheep and horses, I guess, are even considered livestock. So different types of animal. Goats, farm animals is another way to put it. Logging, to cut down trees. Practices. Practices, it's like the way the word is used in this reading, we could talk about logging practices. It's the way in which you do something, your process. Processes would be a synonym in this context. Soil, dirt. Species is a kind of animal. Striking is something that grabs your attention, like, wow, this is important. I'm going quickly here, I know, but you can always watch the video again, right? I think we're almost done. We better move on. I'm almost out of time. So pre-reading, I want you to consider these pre-reading questions. So this is for premium subscribers because you have access to this document. You're going to complete this chart, then you're going to complete this close test. So this is a reading where words are removed. I want you to use vocabulary words from the reading, but you may have to, these words, you may have to change the word form. So the word may be anchor here, but perhaps you're using the adjective anchored down here. All right, so you might have to change it a little bit. Be careful about that. I do want you to answer these pre-reading questions. Just you and I are going to read those. But if you give me permission and I can share your information next class, I might be able to give examples to everybody. All right. Yeah, Sway is not here. I wonder where Sway is today. Hi, Sway, if you're watching this later. All right, so then I want you to reflect on here a little bit. I want you to write a summary of it. So you're going to skim the reading and then write a summary. And then when you're finished, you're going to write supporting details and main idea for each of the paragraphs in the reading. And then there's a little bit of information here with APA practice to revisit some of the work that we've done in our earlier classes. Remember when we had our APA citation classes? Well, this is revisiting that. So you're going to do the reading today, and then you do have homework. So your homework is to complete 8-1A Deforestation reading exercise. You're going to do APA citations at the end and a summary of your findings. So this is great vocabulary practice, great writing practice, and great reading practice. This is a big assignment, so please start it right away because I do want to have this shared with me as soon as possible, definitely before next week. I also have a request of you students. I'm going to share these notes with you. So homework is to complete 8-1A reading, deforestation, and then I would like you to submit 3 lesson plan ideas. Now, I do this quite often. I ask my students, I ask all of you, what do you want to learn? What do you want to learn? If I just choose these lessons, it's okay. I mean, I'm going to choose mindfully good material for you. I'm going to choose things that I think you will enjoy, things that you will benefit from. But I don't want to teach vocabulary and reading for 2 classes or 3 classes. If you really need specific writing practice, or if you really need pronunciation practice, or if you have a big presentation coming up for your office or your college or your university, and you need to practice those skills. So please send me suggestions. You have my email address. My email address is right up here, joshua.live@smartenglish.com. You can also email Zach if you want to sign up as a premium subscriber. So please do. If you want to do this homework this week, he can get you signed up right away, and you can submit this. You can get access to all that curricula. If you want to explore when the classes are that you can sign up for, go to this website, smartenglish.com/live/live. And the last thing I want to say is some of you have expressed to me that you really like class. Maybe you're not able to sign up as a premium subscriber. You can still contribute to the class through Super Chat. So you could donate $1, $2, and keep Smart English happy and well fed. So you can do Super Chat. We've in my class, I don't think I've got one yet, so it'd be cool too. So next week, maybe send a Super Chat. I'll give you a big shout out, of course, and yeah, it's just a new feature that we're including there. And thank you, everybody. You guys are great. I hope if this was your first class, we had a couple first timers in here. I hope you come back same time next week. I will be here. It's 14:30 GMT. Here's where the class is. Whoa, that's a really big picture of Sean's head. here's when and where the classes are right here, this YouTube channel, of course. Fridays at 1600 GMT. And Neil, upper intermediate, Wednesdays at 1430 GMT. And me, of course, at 1430 GMT. So you can see the awesome prices here listed. Pretty affordable for class. So sign up, check it out, and we'll see you next week. I mean, $5 for a month. Everybody can do that, right? Sign up, check it out. We'll be here. You have Canadian and American teachers. Sean's Canadian, Neil's American, I'm American. We're all American if you live in Canada or Mexico, right? Or anywhere, Central, South America. Our Brazilian friends, they're American. So yeah, any questions too? I mean, I guess I do have a couple minutes here. I don't mind going over a little bit if you guys have specific questions. Like what can I, maybe I can copy this link, I don't know, and send it to you. I don't know, sign up for my class. I want you in my class. What questions do you have for me though? You'd like me to teach inversion and expression of surprise when writing informal and informal letters. I like that, Amanda. I think that's great. Will you do me a favor though? Because I don't save these chats. Will you send me an email, please? I would love to hear your ideas in an email. I'm going to copy my email and put it in the chat right now. So Amanda, will you please send me one and give me that idea? That's a good idea. Also, give me 2 other ideas. So send me 3 ideas for lessons and the homework. 3 lesson plan ideas to joshua.live@Smrt Okay, so please send me 3 lesson plan ideas, and I'd love to include those. You're welcome. All right. More writing. So Just a Girl wants more writing. Okay. Tile, you can get a link in my notes. Yeah. These are for our subscribers, so subscribe, and I'll give you the link. Could you put the link to the notes? Yes. I will send that to you. Just send me an email, okay? That'll be the easiest way. 4 teachers, which is good. Thank you. Yeah, I like 4 teachers too. We have Neil, Kareem, Sean, and this dorky guy. Okay. Yes, super chat is the $sign. So you'll see that at the bottom. I'll put let me do a screenshot of it really quick. Super chat is this thing right here. Looks like that. So you see that little $sign at the bottom of the chat? That is super chat. So yeah, do that. Check it out. And I'm glad Leo, of course, speaks more than 1 language. I think you speak like 10 languages, Leo. And you say this helps you. I really hope it does. And thank you for being in class, really. Leo, you're a great guy. You show up in all the classes. Rosa, you're here in all the classes. Hiding Love, JB. There's so many people that show up again and again. Sarbajit's always here. Vinci is in so many of the classes. I don't want to miss anybody. And I know I've not said everybody's name. I'm just looking at the last few people that have chatted. So thank you guys. You guys are great. I really enjoy being your teacher, and I enjoy learning with you. So thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of your learning process. It's really great. So that's everything for today. We've had a great class. I really enjoyed this vocabulary lesson. If you send me an email, I will send you a link to the class notes. If you're a premium subscriber, you don't have to worry about sending me an email because I will send it to you. And yeah, if you have other questions, you can always email me, friend me on Facebook, and subscribe to our other classes. Make sure you're in Neil's class and Sean's class and everybody's class. It's great. Have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful weekend doing whatever you may do. Be safe, make good choices, and always practice English. Thanks so much, everybody. I will see you next week. Here is a brief message from Sean.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want the full experience of being a student in a Smrt Live class with things like homework and teacher feedback, follow the link and become a premium subscriber. Also, if you want to see more videos from this class, check out our playlist.